psychology coach, and this is my podcast, The Art of Eating, where we're rediscovering the joy of food and saying goodbye to diets and rules that just don't work anyway. And today we're talking about menopause, in particular how you can master the metabolic shifts that happen with menopause. And I want to start off by acknowledging that for so long, menopause has been the ultimate hush-hush topic. It was almost as if reaching this stage of life was a secret women had to endure alone, like an exclusive club that no one really wanted to join. But thank goodness times are changing. The stigma and shame that once clung to menopause like a heavy fog are finally starting to lift. Women are talking, sharing, and learning. And it's about time because, let's face it, being in the dark about something this impactful, something that every single woman will go through, just isn't right. So in the past few years, we've been seeing more resources, open conversations, and finally access to the information women need to understand about what's on the horizon for them, so it doesn't creep up and descend on them like a ton of bricks, like it kind of did for me. So let's dig into menopause, and what I want to focus on is how it changes your body and why it feels like your metabolism has kind of thrown you a major curveball. So menopause means the end of monthly cycles. Menopause happens to women around about the age of 50, though it can happen a little earlier or later. Officially, it's diagnosed after you've gone a full 12 months without a period. But as you may have heard, the symptoms can start long before that. This transition phase, known as perimenopause, can begin years before menopause officially sets in, and it brings its own bag of hormonal tricks. So perimenopause is probably the most symptomatic phase of menopause, and it can start as early as age 35 and last for 8 to 10 years. So women can still have their period and still get pregnant during perimenopause, but they might also start suffering from a number of symptoms. And these symptoms occur mostly because estrogen doesn't make a slow linear decline, but rather it fluctuates up and down, which can lead to a whole host of delightful symptoms. And this is also one of the reasons why you can't just get a blood test to see if you're in menopause. So estrogen levels don't just gently glide down calmly, they're more like a roller coaster with wild highs and lows. And this kind of hormonal whiplash can bring on a whirlwind of symptoms, leaving many women feeling like they've been tossed around in a storm and wondering when it'll finally let you catch a break. And then after menopause, a woman is considered to be postmenopausal, which brings along other health concerns. Conditions like osteoporosis, heart disease, and even Alzheimer's can become more likely as your estrogen and progesterone levels drop. Now, every woman's experience of menopause will be different, and apparently there are about 34 different menopausal symptoms that women can experience. But the most common ones are brain fog, forgetfulness, poor sleep, anxiety, aches and pains, and tiredness. And today I want to talk about the other one, weight gain. So when estrogen levels start to dip, it's not just a number on the scales that can shift, it's where you tend to store fat. So in your younger years, you may have been more of a pear shape, storing fat around the hips and thighs. But thanks menopause, now your body is favoring the belly area. And this new look, sometimes called apple shape, can surprise and, let's face it, annoy a lot of women. Here's what's happening. As all the major sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, yes ladies, we have testosterone too, take a serious dive, it's the drop in estrogen that has the biggest effect on fat storage. Once estrogen levels go down, your body shifts its preferences and starts storing fat around the abdominal area. The number one frustration I hear from my clients going through menopause is this weight gain is different. Many of my women have never had to worry much about their weight. In the past, if they gained a few kilos, a little extra care with food choices or a few additional workouts usually brought them back to where they were or where they wanted to be. But now, this new hormonal weight gain feels like a shapeshift rather than just adding extra kilos. And it's got its own personality because it's stubborn, resistant, and unresponsive to all the tried and true strategies they've relied on in the past. And there's a reason it feels different, because it is different. And it's not just about aesthetics. Belly fat or visceral fat is active inflammatory tissue that can quietly but powerfully affect your health. Unlike the fat stored around your hips and thighs, belly fat increases your risk of insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, and heart disease. So while it might be frustrating that your favorite jeans have become tight around the middle, there are real health reasons to take this change seriously. And there's a question that I get asked often: if our metabolic rate doesn't really start slowing down until our 60s, why does this weight gain suddenly seem so much harder to control? Well, when estrogen levels drop during menopause, it's as though the body gets a new set of instructions: store more fat around my belly. And research backs this up, showing a striking shift in fat distribution. So before menopause, only about 5 to 8% of a woman's total fat is visceral fat, the type stored around the internal organs. But after menopause, that percentage jumps to 15 to 20%. So from 5 to 8 up to 15 to 20%. So this increase means that postmenopausal women tend to store significantly more fat in that abdominal area, and that's what impacts our health. And it's likely this happens because estrogen also plays a crucial role in the way our body responds to insulin. Insulin is the hormone that helps regulate blood sugar levels. So think of insulin as the key that unlocks the doors of the cells, allowing sugar or glucose to enter, and then the cell can use that sugar for energy. When estrogen levels drop, the body becomes less responsive to insulin. When the cells don't respond to insulin the way they're supposed to, the pancreas releases larger amounts of insulin in a bid to regulate blood sugar levels. So the role of insulin is to shuttle glucose into the cells after we eat. And if this isn't happening, the pancreas starts to pump out more and more insulin to try and mitigate the situation. And what happens is the cells are screaming for food, but they aren't getting it because the glucose is staying in the blood, not going into the cells where it belongs. So you feel tired, and then these higher levels of insulin cause it to work more like a storage hormone. So the excess insulin starts turning the excess sugar in the blood into fat and puts it in storage, guess where? Around the belly. And at the same time, another hormone, cortisol, our stress hormone, often increases during menopause. Cortisol can also encourage abdominal fat storage and add to that stubborn belly weight. So now it's not just about one hormonal change, but a series of shifts all pointing towards weight gain in new places. All right, so let's talk about how to master these metabolic shifts. Because if all of this sounds a bit overwhelming, please don't panic. The good news is that once you understand what's happening in your body, you can start working with it instead of feeling like it's working against you. The first thing you need to do is to get back in touch with your perfect gauge, your body's internal hunger and fullness signals. It's important to learn the skill of recognizing true hunger before eating rather than just eating because it's lunchtime or when you're feeling a bit peckish. I'm not at all saying to wait until you're starving, but really get finely tuned into this signal so you know exactly when your body actually needs fuel. And trust me, I'm not saying you should always feel hungry, but just that a little hunger here and there can actually be a really good sign that your body's doing what it's supposed to do. Another key skill is knowing when you've had just enough to eat. So learning to recognize this signal will help you avoid overeating and feeling stuffed. And here's the kicker. These two skills aren't just essential for getting through menopause, they're vital for your long-term health too. And I have to tell you, for me, these skills have been game changers. In fact, during my first couple of months in menopause, my appetite took a serious dive. I really didn't need to eat as much. I was probably eating about 2/3 of what I'd normally eat during this time. And I didn't lose weight, not that I was aiming to, but I also didn't gain weight. But I think if I had have been eating my usual amount, I'd imagine that I could have easily gained a few kilos over that time. I really believe that being so in tune with my hunger and fullness signals really helped me here and helped me maintain my weight during this time and since. So your body is incredibly smart. It really knows when your stomach is empty and signals you to eat. And when you tune into your body's cues, you'll be able to eat when you truly need to and avoid overdoing it. So focusing on these two essential skills, feeling true hunger and recognizing when you've had just enough, and you'll set yourself up for success, not just through menopause, but for years to come. The other thing you want to focus on is truly nourishing your body with foods that support your health and energy. What you put into your body can make the world of difference in how you feel day to day. And in this time, this changing and very trying time, it's key to prioritize foods that will help you keep feeling good. Make sure to include a variety of different proteins in your meals. Protein is essential for muscle maintenance, immune function, and including it in meals helps you feel full for longer and can prevent cravings. And please don't skip on the carbs, even though what we discussed about insulin and how it affects how you are, your sensitivity to carbs basically. If you include the low GI, high fiber ones, you won't gain weight. So if you remember from last week's episode, these carbs release energy slowly, helping you keep your blood sugar levels stable and prevent those annoying energy crashes. They also are essential to help regulate digestion and support your gut health. So do not skip on them. And let's not forget to include some healthy fats which add flavor, texture, and enjoyment to meals, obviously along with essential vitamins and other essential nutrients that keep your skin looking vibrant. Plus, they can help you feel satisfied after meals, reducing the temptation to snack on less nutritious options. So these nourishing foods aren't just good for your body. They're rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties that play a big role in protecting your cells from stress and reducing inflammation, both which tend to increase during menopause. So when it comes to fueling your body, think of it like putting premium fuel in a car. Your body needs high quality ingredients to run smoothly. By prioritizing these nourishing foods, you'll be supporting your body so that it can thrive during menopause and beyond. You also want to stay as active as you can and make sure that you're now including resistance exercises to build or maintain your strength. Manage stress, which includes getting a good amount of sleep, because lack of sleep will cause cravings for those less healthy foods. But also good sleep helps you manage stress and you just feel better after a good night's sleep. Above all, and I can't stress this enough, be kind to yourself and cut yourself some slack. Your body is going through a big transition, and I can tell you right now, it ain't easy. So accepting these changes with kindness and patience goes a long way. So catch your self-talk and make sure it's supportive, patient, and kind. Menopause is a huge life change, and it comes with its own set of challenges. But armed with the right information and a lot of self-compassion, you can navigate these metabolic shifts with confidence. There really is no need to fear this stage. Instead, it's about understanding what's happening, taking proactive steps, and feeling empowered in your journey. Do your best to embrace it, master it, and let menopause be a new, powerful chapter in your life. So that's what I have for you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or want more support, please reach out. You can always find out more at carolinetricky.com. That's tricky with an EY, where you can also sign up for my 5-day Eat Consciously free challenge. And if you haven't yet, please hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Thank you so much for listening today. And remember, food is meant to be enjoyed, not feared. See you next time on The Art of Eating.